is Trinh Lee. She is also a daughter of Vietnamese refugees and graduated from UCLA with a BA in Sociology and Asian American Studies. She has worked and organized in many diverse communities in Los Angeles, the Bay Area, and the Mississippi Gulf Coast before coming to San Diego. I'm calling her the organizer-in-chief. That is her skill. She has for almost 3 years been the worked for the Community Budget Alliance, advocating for a more accessible, transparent, and fair city budget across San Diego. She's also on various boards, and she very much practices what she preaches. So everyone please welcome Trinh Lee.
Just kidding, there's one more presentation. Good evening, everyone. My name is Trinh Lee, and I'm here to talk about an exciting civic engagement tool that's been happening all over the world that we want to bring to San Diego. This civic engagement tool is called Participatory Budgeting Program, which I'll call PB for short. The PB local effort is launched by the Community Budget Alliance, which consists of more than 40 different community, labor, faith-based, and civic organizations. These groups joined forces in early 2012 to seek an understandable, open, and fair budget for the city of San Diego. We now have a voice on budgetary issues at City Hall after all of our advocacy efforts. First, why should we care about the city budget? How many of you care about library services and library hours? How many of you care about public safety, so firefighters, police, lifeguards? How many of you care about the infrastructure in your neighborhood, so streets, sidewalks, street lights, and parks? There's $2.3 billion in the city budget, and we need to let our city council members know how we want that money to be spent. As the Budget Alliance grows, we seek ways to bring more participants into the budget process. With that in mind, I'd like to introduce you to PB. PB is a more democratic process that enables residents to work with government to be a part of the budget decisions that affect their lives. This is how it works. City Council allocates funds from the PB program in advance. Residents then brainstorm ideas. Volunteer budget delegates develop proposals based on those ideas. Residents come together to vote on proposals, and then the government implements the projects with the most votes. These are real dollars that go towards implementing the projects residents voted for.
Right, if you live in this community and you pay taxes, come out and vote, decide how your tax dollars get spent.
Participatory budgeting gives people real power over real money to make the decisions that affect their lives. It's a democratic process in which ordinary community members directly decide how to spend part of a public budget.
Oh, this is different because you're actually voting for where the money is going to be spent instead of allowing them to decide where to spend the money.
Who knows better about their community than the people that live in their community?
So how does it work? First, people brainstorm ideas. They come together in neighborhood assemblies and start to think of what kinds of projects would they like to see in their neighborhood. Volunteers take people's initial ideas and turn them into real projects.
We started with maybe about 40 projects, and so we had a series of budget delegate meetings, and we narrowed down the list into about 4 or 5 projects.
What are the real needs of the community if you only have a certain amount of money? What is it that you can do that's going to benefit as many people as possible?
We're asking for a projector and 30 Mac laptops.
Displays at bus shelters throughout the district, and it will tell people when the next bus is due to arrive.
I'm dreaming of new benches, modern benches. Seniors have nowhere to go.
People get a taste of making the tough decisions and coming up with things that can be done to improve their community. And they bring them back to the public for a vote.
So we're validating every voice in our community and saying, you know what, whatever your position is, you live in our community, you have a right to decide, and that me as a representative and government should respond and should listen to that voice.
The projects with the most votes get funded.
We have the playground improvements at Millbrook Housing.
They are then implemented over the next few years, and the following year, the process starts again. People brainstorm new ideas, turn them into new projects, vote on them, and fund more improvements for their community. PB becomes part of the budget process. It becomes a new way of governing.
I think this is like the greatest wave of democracy coming into the United States. It started in Porto Alegre, Brazil in 1989.
From there, it spread all over Latin America and to over 1,500 cities around the world. In Toronto, public housing tenants have decided to spend millions of dollars each year on improvements to their buildings. In Chicago and New York, city council members have set aside discretionary funds for the community to decide. In Vallejo, California, PB has been used citywide for funds from a new sales tax.
This was a great opportunity for you to be a part of government and better the city you live in. Like, who wouldn't want to take advantage of that?
You're creating a more educated platform of voters overall. So I think this can only be good for the big project of democracy.
First city to implement PB in 1989. As many as 50,000 people have participated each year, and the residents decide as much as 20% of the city budget. Since 1989, PB has spread to over 1,500 cities in Latin America, North America, Asia, Africa, and Europe. What would implementation of PB look like? It looks like residents coming together and brainstorming over ideas. It looks like residents lobbying their neighbors to vote for a project they really care about. It looks like a science fair of budget proposals on display boards for people to walk around and decide what projects they want to vote for. What's the difference in what we have now versus what PB would offer? The current process, funding is not guaranteed. Residents serve in an advisory role. The mayor and the city are the final decision makers and process is designed by the city. With PB, there's designated funding. Residents are the decision makers. Process is more democratic and process is designed by the community. PB results in increased community involvement, includes groups of people that are not usually engaged civically. For example, the voting age in elections is 18, but with PB, it's up to the community to decide what the age limit is. So we could have high school or even middle school students vote on projects in their neighborhoods. Also, undocumented residents could also participate, as well as people who have been affected by the criminal system. Bringing PB to San Diego will have 7 major impacts in the region, as found by programs in other cities. Greater connection to public officials, fairer decisions, deeper democracy, public education, more informed decisions, engagement of underrepresented groups, and stronger communities. What's the status of PB in San Diego? So far, CBA has gotten some media coverage. Voice of San Diego had written an article about PB. We've also provided testimony about the need for PB at City Council. We're now doing presentations in the community to engage more folks about this idea and how it can benefit our neighborhoods. This can only happen with your support. Here are some ways for you to get involved. Sign up to join the campaign. I put the clipboard sign in the back for folks. Attend and testify at city council hearings. Contact your city council member. Talk about the city with others. And also let us know if you know of an organization or group would be interested in hearing more about this program. There are still ways for you to participate in the budget process. Key dates for fiscal year 2015. April 15th is when the new mayor releases the proposed budget. May 5th and 9th is the opportunity for you all to come and give feedback. And then June 9th is when the city council makes its final vote. This is my contact info if you want to stay connected. You can also like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and get more info at our website, onlinecpi.org. And final thoughts on PB. Patricia Kutsa, who's a community participant in the Vallejo program, said that I learned about the challenges city departments face with limited funds and high expectations. I came away with the sense of pride that staff faced with the tug of war of competing priorities bring to their work. Before PB, Patricia didn't understand how the city works and how to be engaged. Because of PB, she now understands the difficult decisions the city has to make because she's a part of that decision process herself. This is the moment to join the worldwide PB movement so that there can be more civically engaged residents like Patricia in San Diego. We hope you will join us. Thank you.